Plaintiff Ashonda Carter allowed the defendant to move into her home. However, Ashonda claims the defendant constantly had marijuana and alcohol in the apartment. And after she moved out, she was arrested for domestic battery. Ashonda suing for rent and an unreturned key fee. Defendant Sharondica Robinson admits that she was arrested for domestic battery, but the charges were dropped. Sharondica says after she moved into Ashonda's apartment, her roommates had a huge party, and the sheriff had to shut it down.
Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so back in January 2013, I began an internship in a different city where I attend college at. So I was looking for someone to sublease my apartment to. And a mutual friend of me and the defendants, he notified me that she was looking for a place to stay. So I gave him my number so that she could contact me. So the defendant called me, told me that she was homeless, had nowhere to go, and that she'll be starting work on January 3rd and will be able to pay me in 2 weeks. So she just needed somebody to be patient with her. So I was like, okay, let me give her a shot, you know. I thought she was like a sweet girl and all that other stuff. And then the next thing you know, my roommates are blowing up my phone talking about Ashonda. She has people over 24/7, smoking weed all throughout the apartment. And even when she moved out, she left all these bottles of liquor on my dresser that I had to...
Did you ever speak to her about it?
I wasn't living with her at the time, so no, I never spoke to her about it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so she left all those bottles of liquor there, and then on top of that, she even got arrested, and I have the mugshots to prove it here.
Arrested for what?
Domestic battery.
She jumped on her boyfriend? Let's see it. All right. She was still living in your apartment?
No, this was after she moved out, and she told me that she was staying with him, with her ex-boyfriend, and then they got into a fight.
You tell me about yourself.
I moved in January 11th. I had just had a miscarriage. I was going through like a very depressing time. I had just started school. I didn't have a job at that time because I had just moved to Gainesville to start school.
Where in Gainesville?
We go to the University of Florida. Well, I just started there this year. She had already been attending there. I was going to the community college there.
Good school.
So
you still there?
Yeah.
Good. You as well?
Yes.
Good, great school.
So when I first met her, she was very nice. I didn't think of anything of her. I still don't, you know. She was really cool, but it was just the roommates, you know. They threw a party, a really, really big party. And there was underage drinking, there was weed everywhere, and the sheriff had to come and shut the party down. And then me and 10 of my friends, we came, and then we all went to my room.
You all came to party as well?
No, I didn't come to party. I was coming home. We had left the club.
Your 10 friends, they lived with you?
No, they don't live there.
So what were they coming there to do?
We didn't even stay there. We were coming.
I didn't ask you that. You brought 10 of your friends there to do what?
To
look at the party?
To meet up.
Just sit back there and say, To do what?
We just came to meet up.
Why'd you have to meet up if you were together?
No, we all weren't together.
You just said you were.
No, we all were at the club, but we all drove separate cars. So we were like, okay, we're gonna meet up at your house, Ronnie, and then we're gonna go to another friend's house, which is what we did.
What'd you do in the room? You say you all went to the back room, in your room, all 10 of you.
We were waiting on everyone to get there.
You just stood in your room, all 10 of you.
Yep. Because the house...
While they were partying outside.
There was no room. The house was packed. Like, there were people banging on my door trying to get in. Like,
there was no room to do what?
Anywhere.
There was no room to do what?
To get through the house. Like,
so how did you make it to your room?
Oh, I got in my room.
Well, you said there was no room to get in the house. And not only did you get in, but 10 other people got in. You keep telling me things that don't make sense. Now you're hurting your credibility. You got to be honest with me, otherwise I don't believe anything else you say. Now, let's try it again. You and 10 people came to your house. It was too crowded to even make it through the crowd. But all 10 of you, all 11 of you made it after all.
Yes, and then...
And you all 11 went into your room and closed the door and just stood there.
That's actually what we were just sitting in there talking. Everyone was just sitting there.
You all just stood there. How long did you just stand in your room?
We stayed there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then we left and went to, because there's 2 phases to the apartment. There's phase 1 and phase 2.
Somewhere else.
Yes, let's go stand somewhere. Ma'am, I'm not going to let you play with my intelligence. Do you drink?
Yeah.
When did you start?
Well, I'm 21, so I started drinking when I turned 21, which is January.
Oh, you just started drinking? Never drank before?
No, my
Now
parents
you're playing
didn't
with
know
my intelligence again.
No, I
don't believe you. Don't believe you. How about the other allegations she's making about you smoking weed in the house? Any of that?
I've never smoked weed in the house.
Never smoked weed?
I was never really even there because I felt uncomfortable there.
You were there that night with 10 people.
That's before any of the incidents had started. The house was like, I didn't feel comfortable staying there because I would go to work, you know, from like 9 to 5 and come home, and you know, either the house would be dirty or like there was just everything was always something wrong. I would be in, like one day when I went home, her and there was another roommate there. They were there and I'm sleeping in the room and they were banging on the door, and you know, I opened the door. I'm like, well, what's going on? They were like, oh, we thought you were dead. We didn't know you were in there. Like, you know, like, come on. And then when I lost the keys, I would come home.
About you losing keys. You want to speak? I thought I saw you throwing your hand up in there. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Sashana Taylor.
She pointed you out, I guess, as one of her roommates?
Yes, yes.
All right, you tell me about that.
I wanted to address the issue with the party. I wasn't there that weekend. I went home for my best friend's birthday, and it was actually her birthday weekend as well. So I didn't really know about the party. That wasn't really my business or anything like that. So when I came back, I was like, girl, how was your weekend and everything? And she was like, oh, I'm wasted, I'm drunk. Oh, the party was so much fun, but here she is telling you that she was in the room with her 10 friends. You could believe the fact about her 10 friends because she always had people over, but the fact that she was not doing anything on her birthday weekend, no.
You know I know better than that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead and tell me about the lawsuit, ma'am.
Okay, so...
Hold on, you want to address this arrest that you had?
Yes, me and an ex, we got into an altercation, and he like almost like choked the life out of me. So I called the police. They said they had to arrest us because it was domestic. I didn't really understand.
They arrested both of you?
Yeah, they arrested both of us, and I have papers saying my charges were dropped. Due to lack of evidence and because I was actually the victim. So I have papers
You have
showing.
something that says you were actually the victim?
I have from the state
attorney. Read
attorney.
that part that says you were actually the victim. Because they don't arrest both parties. That's not true.
Yeah,
That's
we both got
true,
arrested.
ma'am. That is not true. So read the part that says that you were a victim.
It doesn't say that I was a victim.
Oh, you told me it did say that. You've hurt your credibility again. Go ahead. Tell me about putting her out.
Okay, so when the defendant came, she didn't move in on the 11th. She came on the 6th. And we signed a contract saying that she would pay $350 for every month of the spring semester, which was from like January, the beginning of January, all the way until school ended, I want to say like May 4th. That's when I came back to Gainesville for my roommate's graduation. And the defendant, she was late on all of her payments, and she has failed to pay March and April. She lost the keys, and apparently she pretended to be me, according to my roommates, to try to get the keys back from the apartment complex, and it cost $60 for the front key and then $25 for the room, and then the mailbox key was $25 as well. And I didn't have the money at the time to pay for it, so that was a burden on me that I had to deal with.
You have anything representing the cost?
Yes.
What do you say?
I did lose the keys. I misplaced the keys. I never went to the office to say, oh, I'm Ashonda Carter. I told them that I needed to get into my apartment.
What about the rent?
I only owe her for May because she said I owe her for April, but I moved out April 5th, so I don't feel like I should.
She said you owe her, didn't you say for March?
Our contract says for the spring semester.
What did you say? Did
March
you tell
and
me
April.
March and April?
Yes.
All right, let's address that. Did you pay it?
No.
Judgment for the plaintiff. She admits not paying it. I see evidence that she did not pay for the key that she failed to return. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Like, her business is her business, but then when it comes into effect with my money, that's when it becomes a problem.
I never smoked weed in the apartment. Everyone has their allegations, so I mean,